Imagine being one of the biggest rappers alive, and then your private jail calls get leaked for the whole world to hear. Young Thug's audio shook hip-hop to the core, but the question is, was he being real or just another rat? These leaks didn't just hit Young Thug's career, they exposed his personal life too. One call went viral above the rest, where Thug's voice sounded completely different. Did that call just change his entire legacy forever? Everyone knew Young Thug for his gangster image, until one leaked phone call flipped the script. For the first time, the world didn't hear a superstar, they heard a man scared of losing love. In hip-hop, one word is more dangerous than any bullet: rat. And now, after these leaks, fans are asking, did Young Thug actually snitch? Or is this all just part of a bigger game? People at a music party overheard Young Thug talking, and a leaked audio clip quickly spread online. In the clip he mentions jail calls, interrogations, and names like Pee Wee Roscoe. That audio, plus a later leaked jail call, got people saying Thug was snitching or pointing fingers at others. The leak didn't just shake Young Thug's career. It crept into his personal life too, pulling private moments into the public spotlight. Among the audio clips that surfaced, one stood out from the rest: a phone call between Thug and a woman where his tone was completely different. Gone was the tough, street-hardened persona fans are used to. Instead, he sounded vulnerable, nervous, and even tender. In that conversation, the rapper who often presented himself as larger than life came across as just another man trying to hold on to love while his world was crumbling. It was raw, it was human, and it caught everyone off guard. For years, Thug has been seen as unpredictable, mysterious, and, at times, even untouchable. But in that moment, listeners heard something else: insecurity, fear of loss, and genuine emotion. Not long after the call spread online, Thug broke his silence. On Twitter, he wrote, "Chapter ended." The words were short, but they carried weight. He followed it up with a heartfelt apology. He admitted he was wrong, asked fans to leave the woman alone, and confessed that he would do anything to make things right. The most striking part of his message was his honesty about his fear of losing her forever. This was a side of Young Thug the public rarely sees. For years, his name has been tied to gang allegations, courtroom drama, and bold, sometimes defiant statements. Yet here he was, admitting guilt not in a trial, but in matters of the heart. His words weren't polished by PR teams or filtered through lawyers. They sounded real, messy, regretful, and painfully human. For many fans, that tweet added another layer to his story. It showed that behind the legal chaos, the rap beefs, and the public pressure, Thug was still a man trying to manage relationships that meant something to him. But the internet, being what it is, didn't leave it at that. Some mocked him for sounding soft, while others felt sympathy, pointing out that even celebrities get heartbroken. In fact, many people saw this as the first time Thug truly opened up about something personal without hiding behind his music. The timing made it even more complicated. With court battles looming and his reputation already fragile, the last thing Thug needed was more people questioning his image. Yet in a way, that's exactly what happened. Fans started dissecting every word of his apology, analyzing whether it was sincere or a desperate attempt to salvage his image. Still, the fact remains, he didn't have to say anything at all. The choice to apologize and publicly show remorse says more about his state of mind than critics want to admit. This moment also highlights the larger issue of privacy in the digital age. The call was never meant for public ears, but once it hit the internet, it became part of his story whether he liked it or not. It's a reminder that when you're famous, especially someone like Thug, already under a microscope, even the most intimate moments can be weaponized, mocked, or turned into headlines. Yet there's also a lesson here about vulnerability. For someone who has built a career on being untouchable, admitting he was wrong and showing fear of losing someone he loves may actually make him more relatable. Fans may not know what it feels like to stand trial for RICO charges, but they know what it's like to hurt someone they care about and wish they could undo it. In that sense, Thug's apology bridges the gap between superstar and ordinary man. Of course, the situation also added to the growing list of stressors in his life. Between the legal pressure, accusations of snitching, and public criticism, Thug is juggling battles on every front. A fractured personal relationship only makes that weight heavier. When he wrote about doing anything to fix things, it was hard not to hear the exhaustion in those words. It sounded like a man pushed to the limit, willing to fight for both his freedom and his relationships, but unsure if either can truly be saved. In the bigger picture, this leak could be remembered as a turning point. not just in how the public views Young Thug, but in how he views himself. Stripped of the bravado and fame, he was reminded, painfully and publicly, that love and trust are fragile. It was an unfiltered glimpse at a man who is often misunderstood, controversial to some, iconic to others, but undeniably human beneath it all. As the dust settles, one question lingers: will the woman forgive him, or is that chapter truly closed? Only time will answer that. But regardless of how it ends, this moment has already reshaped the narrative. For the first time in a long time, people weren't just talking about Young Thug the rapper or Young Thug the defendant. They were talking about Jeffrey Williams, the man who, despite the fame, money, and spotlight, still fears losing love like anyone else. And maybe that's what makes this leak different from the rest. It wasn't about crime, beef, or the music industry. It was about something deeper, the kind of heartbreak and regret that no amount of fame can shield you from. Publicly, things started to look uncomfortable between Young Thug and Lil Baby. Both rappers showed up at the same event not long after the snitching drama began to swirl, and while the cameras caught them in the same room, what stood out was the silence. Fans noticed immediately that the two didn't appear to be speaking, and that observation spread like wildfire across social media. For years, they had been seen as close allies, brothers in music and in life. To many, that silence suggested something deeper had shifted. The tension only grew when a leaked jail call hit the internet. In the recording, Thug could be heard calling someone a rat. He went further, mentioning Lil Baby in connection with that same person. For a community already on edge about who might or might not be cooperating with authorities, the clip was explosive. To name someone a rat in hip-hop culture is no small insult. It's a label that can stain reputations, end friendships, and even put lives in danger. Social media immediately lit up. Some fans argued that Thug wasn't calling Baby a rat directly, but rather pointing out Baby's association with someone who had snitched. Others weren't so forgiving. They claimed the statement sounded like a direct shot, a betrayal aired out for the world to hear. And in today's climate, where every leaked clip and out-of-context soundbite can go viral in minutes, the backlash was swift. For Lil Baby, this wasn't just another internet rumor. His entire career has been built on loyalty, consistency, and an image of authenticity that fans believe in. To have his name tied to a rat accusation threatened that image, whether or not it was true. The rapper, usually private and calculated with his moves, didn't make any fiery statements in response. But sometimes silence speaks louder than words. His lack of defense, whether strategic or simply out of frustration, only fueled the debate online. Rappers and industry figures began chiming in. Some defended Baby, insisting that his track record of loyalty and his position in Atlanta's rap scene made the accusation baseless. Others took a more neutral approach, saying this was just another example of how friendships crumble when legal trouble enters the picture. A few, however, openly suggested that the tension between Thug and Baby was proof of a bigger fracture inside Atlanta's once tightly knit rap circle. Fans dissected every angle. On Twitter, clips of Thug and Baby at the event were replayed over and over. People zoomed in, slowed down the footage, and drew conclusions from the smallest gestures. A glance here, a lack of a handshake there, everything was treated as evidence of a brewing feud. Comment sections on Instagram filled with split opinions. Some swore the two were just keeping their distance for the cameras, while others insisted the friendship was over for good. What made it worse was timing. Thug was already battling a reputation crisis due to the ongoing YSL case and the constant stream of leaks. For Baby to be dragged into the storm created a ripple effect. Baby had his own brand and his own fan base to protect, and the last thing he wanted was to get caught in someone else's crossfire. Whether or not the jail call was meant as a diss, the damage had been done. In the broader hip-hop world, the situation sparked conversations about how fragile alliances really are. Artists often present themselves as a united front, especially when they come from the same city or crew. But when legal cases, rumors, or the dreaded word snitch enter the picture, those alliances can crack quickly. For fans, this was more than gossip. It was a reminder of how high the stakes are in street-rooted rap culture. A single accusation can undo years of loyalty. Still, there were voices urging patience. Some argued that the leaked audio was being twisted by outsiders who wanted to see Atlanta divided. They pointed out that neither Thug nor Baby had made any official public statement confirming a fallout. In their eyes, the silence could also mean the two were handling the situation privately, away from the noise of the internet. Yet perception is everything. To the casual listener, the optics of two once inseparable stars now standing apart felt like proof enough that something was wrong. And in an industry where image and credibility are just as important as talent, even the appearance of disunity can cause lasting damage. The incident also highlighted a growing frustration within the rap community, the constant leaking of private calls and conversations. Many wondered who had access to these recordings and why they were surfacing at such convenient times. Some suggested it was a calculated effort by the legal system to turn rappers against each other. Others thought it was simply about money. Leaked clips generate attention, clicks, and headlines, all of which can be monetized. For Thug, the consequences of that leak went beyond music. Not only did it strain his relationship with Lil Baby, but it also gave critics more ammunition. To them, it showed inconsistency, that even as he preached loyalty, he was willing to air out grievances in private. For supporters, though, it was just another sign of a man under pressure, speaking out of frustration while trapped in a situation that few could truly understand. As of now, the friendship between Young Thug and Lil Baby sits under a cloud of uncertainty. Maybe time and private conversations will heal the wound, or maybe the divide will only grow wider as the legal cases drag on. One thing is clear, the leaked call didn't just spark a momentary wave of gossip. It planted seeds of doubt in fans' minds about one of the strongest bonds in modern hip-hop. And in a culture where loyalty is currency, even the hint of betrayal can change everything. One big moment in the recordings, Thug names Pee Wee Roscoe and links him to the 2015 Lil Wayne tour bus shooting. Even though Thug said Roscoe's name, Roscoe later defended Thug. He argued that in interrogation rooms people give statements, that he'd done time, and that you have to speak when questioned. He framed it as what real people do under pressure. Not everyone accepted that defense. Some artists and fans called it snitching. 6ix9ine posted criticism, asking why other rappers stayed quiet when Thug spoke for hours without a lawyer. YSL members and others also accused Thug of naming people, which made the rat conversation louder online. After the interrogation clips went public, Thug responded, saying his interrogation video wasn't shown in court because he helped his brother. That led some fans to speculate that Thug paid Roscoe to back him up, while others rejected the idea or pointed to different parts of the leaked audio that seemed to contradict each other. In short, leaked recordings put Thug in the center of a major controversy. He's been accused of naming names and calling others rats. Some people defend him, saying he was forced to speak during interrogations. Others say the recordings show real snitching. The fallout hit his private life and his public relationships, and the debate continues online. The drama around Young Thug only keeps growing. In a heated rant, critics accused some people close to him of being brainwashed, sticking around just hoping Thug might put them on, even if it meant ignoring the truth. Pee Wee Roscoe, who served 10 years for the Lil Wayne tour bus shooting, was singled out. People couldn't believe he defended Thug after Thug's own interrogation recordings mentioned his name. Then YSL Woody added fuel to the fire. He warned rappers like 21 Savage and Lil Baby to distance themselves from Thug before he dragged them down too. Woody claimed he once defended Thug out of loyalty, but admitted he was manipulated. He said Thug never even paid for his lawyer, despite having money, and insisted no one should ever sit in an interrogation room without legal help. According to Woody, Thug uses people until they're no longer useful. The warning seemed to work. The next day, 21 Savage unfollowed Thug on Instagram. Woody explained his frustration further. "We didn't know what we were getting into. If we had, we never would have been in this mess." Another rapper, known as R, also aired his issues with Thug. He claimed he lied to the feds to protect him, but was still cut off, with Thug allegedly telling Lil Baby to stop rocking with him. R mocked Thug's old tweet about rats needing to make gospel albums, hinting that Thug might soon face the same fate. Things escalated when another interrogation clip leaked. In it, Thug is heard telling investigators, "Whatever you want to know, I'll tell you, but don't tell the world. I made promises." What was meant to stay private became public, and DJ Academics revealed who was behind the leaks. According to him, Ghana's team might be leaking the audios to show how Thug was really operating, proving Woody's point. Soon after, Thug lashed out at Ghana online, mocking his lifestyle and even his house. He also denied wearing certain outfits in leaked photos and insisted people stop spreading lies about him. The beef only grew louder when 6ix9ine, Wack 100, and Academics jumped in. Wack even claimed Thug had a long history of cooperating with the police, pointing to old cases where weapons charges mysteriously disappeared. Fans started asking, if Ghana really snitched, Why is he still tied to YSL? Academics explained it simply: business. Thug still gets royalties from Ghana's music, so labels wouldn't drop him, even if the streets turned their backs. Thug, however, didn't stay quiet. He released a song called Closing Arguments, where he flat out called Ghana and Yak rats. This sparked more backlash, with YSL Mondo accusing Thug of being the real reason the RICO case began. Mondo claimed Thug had been giving information to police long before anyone else, even before the death of Nut, the incident many say sparked the investigation. In another leaked jail call, Thug is even heard saying Ghana's plea deal made YSL officially a gang in the eyes of the court, strengthening the RICO case. The final blow came when Thug's name got tied to Lil Durk. A leaked conversation hinted that Thug may have shared details about Durk's team, raising suspicions that the rapper wasn't just fighting for himself, he might be pulling others into the fire too. The rap world is in chaos once again, and at the center of it all is young Thug. What started with music has spiraled into leaked calls, internet drama, and questions of loyalty that have the entire industry divided. It began with a song. Thug had sent one over, but when it came time for clearance, the track never made the album. That decision sparked tension, and soon, voices online were pointing fingers. One associate claimed Thug was gossiping like a girl on the phone and even mocked his past for wearing makeup and dresses. Thug didn't let it slide. He clapped back, reminding everyone that he had once spent his own money to send attorney Brian Steele to help Lil Durk, proof that he wasn't just talking, he'd put action behind his words. Even Thug's sister jumped in, defending him against whispers that he was a snitch. She argued the only reason people were saying that was because Thug couldn't come back to Atlanta, making it easy for others to pile on. Behind the scenes, leaked audio suggested Thug had actually wanted to handle Ghana's alleged snitching more carefully, not by rushing to call him out, but by letting the truth expose itself in time. Still, the internet didn't wait. And neither did Charleston White. Known for his sharp tongue, he took the leaks as proof his long-standing prediction was coming true, that Thug would eventually fold under pressure. He went further, openly declaring that he would destroy young Thug's career and warning other rappers to distance themselves before it was too late. Fans, meanwhile, are split. Some argue Thug's actions count as snitching, others say it doesn't. But the pattern is clear: when people like an artist, they'll bend the rules to protect them. If they don't, suddenly every word sounds incriminating. As one commentator put it, hip-hop is fake. The first rule of snitching is, do we like the person? If yes, we'll find a way to excuse it. Through all of this, Thug released a new song, and the video carried symbolism. In the opening scene, he wore the same clothes from his courtroom appearance, with his lawyer in the background, almost as if art and reality were now blurred into one. But the release sparked more legal problems. The state of Georgia filed a motion to revoke his probation, a move some believe was fueled by the leaked calls. Critics like Benzino argued that leaking those private conversations without watermarks was unconstitutional and likely intentional, designed to sway public opinion against Thug. On top of that, Thug reignited drama with prosecutors by posting about Marissa Viviero, a DA investigator tied to the OMF and 4PF case involving Lil Baby. By calling her the biggest liar in the DA's office, Thug drew attention from authorities who saw it as a possible threat. With probation hanging in the balance, it was a dangerous move. In his music, Thug used verses to send messages to his peers. To Lil Baby, he urged unity, reminding him that rats are already winning and warning not to let the case divide them. To Drake, he expressed gratitude for visiting him in jail and for everything Drake had done for the rap community. But outside the lyrics, the reality is grim. Some of his closest allies are distancing themselves, industry figures are labeling him a liability, and fans are left debating whether he's a victim of a broken system or a man undone by his own choices. What's clear is that young Thug isn't just fighting a legal battle, he's fighting for his reputation, his relationships, and maybe even his legacy in hip-hop.